MS Ramaya University of Applied Sciences.
Preparation and standardization of potassium permanganate solution. Aim: to prepare and standardize the given potassium permanganate solution. Experimental setup: chemicals required: 0.1 N oxalic acid, dilute sulfuric acid and distilled water. Apparatus required: conical flask, volumetric flask, beaker, burette, burette stand, 10 ml bulb pipette, analytical balance, butter paper and spatula. Principle: potassium permanganate acts as oxidizing agent and oxalic acid is a reducing agent. Potassium permanganate, being a secondary standard, is standardized using primary standard oxalic acid. In this reaction, potassium permanganate acts as a self-indicator and the end point is recognized by a colorless solution to pale pink colored solution. The oxalate ion, which acts as a primary standard substance, will react quantitatively with permanganate ion. Permanganate ion, in the presence of strong acid, an excess drop alters the pH of the solution and phenolphthalein gives permanent pale pink color. Experimental procedure: weigh accurately 0.63 gram of oxalic acid and transfer to 100 ml volumetric flask and make up to the mark with distilled water. Pipette out 10 ml of the solution to conical flask and add 10 ml of dilute sulfuric acid and heat to 60 to 70 degree. Titrate the solution against potassium permanganate solution. Repeat the titration until concordant readings are obtained. The data obtained are tabulated as per the following table, and after suitable calculations, the data obtained is reported as following. Normality of the given potassium permanganate solution was found to be dash normal.
Hi students, today we are going to perform the standardization of potassium permanganate. Aim of the experiment is to standardize the given potassium permanganate using oxalic acid as a primary standard. The chemicals required for the experiments are oxalic acid is used as a primary standard, potassium permanganate, which we are going to find out the exact strength, dilute sulfuric acid to maintain the acid medium for the reaction, and distilled water. Distilled water for the preparation of reagents. The components required for the experiment are 100 ml standard flask, 10 ml pipette, a thermometer, a spatula, a butter pepper, wire gauze, Bunsen burner, a tripod stand, 10 ml measuring jar, conical flask, a burette stand, a burette, and finally a weighing balance. Now let us start the experiment. First fill the potassium permanganate into the burette up to the mark. For colored solution, we have to fill the mark as the upper meniscus value only. If it is colorless, we have to mark up to lower meniscus. After filling the potassium permanganate into the burette, next weigh the oxalic acid purified substance, which we are going to use as a primary standard. First, switch on the weighing balance, mark as 0, then by using the butter pepper we are going to weigh After placing the butter pepper, we have to make it to auto zero, that is stirring. Once if it is become 0.00, we are going to weigh the oxalic acid purified. Amount going to be weighed is 0.63 gram. Weigh approximately 0.63 gram. After weighing, transfer the weighed oxalic acid solution sample into 100 ml standard flask and make the solution up to 100 ml using distilled water. How to say? After transferring of oxalic acid, we have to make the solution up to the mark of 100 ml. After adding distilled water, mix them thoroughly until the solution gets formed, because the sample of oxalic acid has to be get dissolved completely. Add distilled water up to the mark. Fill up to the mark of, as this is a colorless solution, we have to fill up to the lower meniscus of the liquid. After filling, we have to pipette out 10 ml from the standard flask. Transfer 10 ml of the solution into the conical flask. After filling the solution, we have to add 5 ml of dilute sulfuric acid to maintain the acidic medium. After filling 5 ml of dilute sulfuric acid, transfer into the conical flask. Once after adding dilute sulfuric acid to the oxalic acid solution, we have to heat the solution from 60 to 70 degrees centigrade, as that is the optimum temperature for the solution to get reacted with the potassium permanganate. Then switch on the Bunsen burner. Using the wire gas heat. Temperature should not exceed 70 degrees centigrade. At that temperature, the solution will get decomposed. Often check the temperature of the solution alone, not the glass. As the temperature reaches 60 to 70 degrees centigrade, we have to switch off the Bunsen burner, then titrate against the potassium permanganate solution. Appearance of permanent pale pink color is the endpoint of the reaction. So we have got the permanent pale pink color and the endpoint is at 10 ml. This completes the experiment of standardization of potassium permanganate using oxalic acid as a primary standard solution.
At MSR UAS, we spark your imagination unlike any other.